Hello, for this problem we have a set of equilibrium equations that's shown here for this particular scenario. So we've got three equations, three unknowns. We are asked to convert this system of equations into a single matrix equation, and then we're going to use computer tools to solve that matrix equation, solve for all of the variables at once. So step one in doing this is to rearrange your equations. You're going to put all of the constants over here on the right, all of the variables over on the left, and you're going to make sure that all your variables are listed in the same order in each equation. So to do that, let's start out. I'm going to do FAX first, then FAY, then tension is going to be the last one. So I have FAX, just rewriting this top equation, minus sine 30t, and I want to move this 600 over to the other side, equals negative 600. Alright, do the same thing for FAY. This one doesn't change actually. So FAX would be listed first, that's not there, so then FAY minus cosine 30 times t is going to be equal to 0. Alright, the last one, I have only the t on the left side. So 10 sine 30t is going to be equal to, I moved the 600 times 10 over to the other side to get 6,000. Alright, so these are my equations. Now I'm going to write them as a matrix equation. And so I have the coefficient matrix right here. This is what I'm going to be calling A. And I take each line is going to be, this is going to be the first row, second row, third row, and then each column represents a variable. So FAX will be in the first column, FAY will be in the second, and then tension is going to be in the third. And so for this first equation, I've got 1 times FAX, I've got 0 times FAY, and I'm going to have negative sine of 30 times tension. Alright, so for the next equation I have 0 times FAX, 1 times FAY, negative cosine 30 times the tension. And for the third equation I have 0 times FAX, 0 times FAY, and then 10 sine 30 times the tension. That's going to be multiplied by the variables I had in the same order, the unknowns. So FAX, FAY, and tension. And that is equal to a matrix, or a vector really, of these values. So that first equation was equal to negative 600, the second equation was equal to 0, and the third equation was equal to 6,000. Alright, and so this is matrix B. And so to solve for this, I need to basically divide by A. So I'm going to multiply, it's going to be A inverse times B is going to give me this over here, these variables. Alright, so next I'm going to stop this video and we're going to resume on the computer. And I'm going to show you how to do this in both MATLAB and with the other online tool that's in the Adaptive Map textbook. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you soon. Alright, to finish up this problem, we need to type our matrices into MATLAB, or I've got a second tool up here as well. After we type them in, we're going to take the inverse. We're going to do inverse of A times B, and it's going to give us our answers. So step one is going to be to enter in the A matrix into MATLAB. And so I do A equals, we're going to do 2 opening square brackets, and so the first bracket is just the whole matrix, the second bracket is for the first row. And so the first row is 1, 0, and then negative, and I use sine D, because I'm going to do the sine in degrees of 30. Alright, so that is my first row. For the next row, I'm going to do semicolon, and I do open square bracket to do the second row. So For the second row, I've got 0, 1, negative cosine d of 30 is my second row. I do a closing square bracket, semicolon, open square bracket to start the third row. For the third row, I have 0, 0, and 10 times the sine of 30 degrees. So 10 times sine d of 30. So closing square bracket for this row, closing square bracket for the whole piece, and I should be able to hit enter, and I get my matrix, A matrix showing up here. And I also have this saved in the memory for now. So now let's do the B matrix. And the B matrix, the easiest way to do this is, I'm going to say B is equal to opening bracket, and it's going to be negative 600, 0, 6,000. But I want this whole thing to be vertical, and to switch this one row into one column, I'm going to use the single quotation mark that's the transpose of that matrix or vector. So now I see I have B set up exactly like I had it in my equation. So for the last part, I'm going to do the C. So my answer is going to be equal to the inverse of A, and the inverse of a matrix, I just use INV, put matrix A times B. So A inverse B, and if I hit enter, I should get my answer here. And so 1 times 10 to the third of each of these numbers, so 1 times 10 to the third times 0, which is going to be 0. 1 times 10 to the third, this is going to be 1,039.2. And this last one is 1 times 10 to the third times 1.2, so it's going to be 1,200, 1,200. And this represents the same order I used in my original equation for the variables. It's going to be FAX, FAY, and the tension force is my 3 answers there. All right, so that is using MATLAB to solve the problem. I can also use the Bluebit matrix equation solver, and I've already got the same thing set up. Here there's no commas, there's no complicated pieces. The one disadvantage in this tool is that I need to solve out all those sines and cosines beforehand. And so this is negative cosine 30, negative sine 30, negative cosine 30, and then 5 times the sine of 30 here. I've got the B matrix over here. All I need to do is hit solve, and you can see the solution down here. I've got the same answers that I was getting in MATLAB. So with that, I've solved the problem. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again.